Hey, what's up, everybody? Today we're going through chapter 39 of the Dragonball Super Manga, going through the similarities and afterwards a review. So let's begin. So first of all, we got where we left off at Kefla versus Gohan, and they're squaring off. So there's really not a lot of similarities here actually from the anime, but we're going to try to dig deep and see what we can find. So yeah, we got Vegeta versus Toppo, which did happen in the anime. We get a little bit more, however, here in the manga. They're all beat up and everything. In the anime, it happened a couple times, like their fight kind of broke apart a little bit. And then ultimately Vegeta fought Jiren and was eliminated by Jiren. But here we have Toppo, Dispo, Casserole, who actually got eliminated by Kale and Kefla a little bit early on with a big chunk of the Pride Troopers. But here, he's one of the last ones remaining from Universe 11. So we got Vegeta, Goku, Android 17, and Roshi left in here. And this time, Kefla is fighting Gohan. So we get a little bit of a scuffle there with them. And a little bit of a back and forth. But yeah, like I said, I mean, this is completely different from the anime because Kefla and Goku had fought for a number of episodes. In the anime, Gohan didn't even fight Kefla at all. But here he is fighting Kefla. Piccolo mentions their training, so that could be a similarity, I guess you could say, with their training, except we actually saw it in the anime. Here he's just kind of saying Gohan's been growing stronger during this fight. And then we got the similarity between Goku fighting Jiren. So, of course, as we all know in the anime, Goku fought Jiren. So there you go. There's a similarity right there. And Toppo actually mentions his God of Destruction status. So I'm wondering if we're going to see Toppo, God of Destruction Toppo, like we saw in the anime. Because he powers up against Vegeta. Like I said, we get a little bit more in-depth fight with them. Moving on to another similarity is Frieza and him just kind of wandering around the stage, being kind of passive, not doing a whole lot during the tournament. And so it's probably setting up for some more action for Frieza in the end. And of course, in the end here, between Gohan and Kefla, they eliminate each other. Whereas in the anime, Goku eliminates Kefla by going into Ultra Instinct Omen. So there's a difference. I guess I'm noting more differences than I am of the actual similarities because there are far more differences. I mean, it's completely different. However, similarity, Kefla is the last of Universe 6 to be eliminated, leading to Universe 6 erasure. So we also get the little like tongue eye thing that Champa does right before they're erased. So there's another similarity for you. But yeah, Goku's fighting Jiren. Moving on to the next segment, we have Casserole versus Master Roshi. And this is actually, Master Roshi did get a lot of cred in the anime version in episode 105 especially. Showed how much Roshi was willing to push himself, and it actually had a nice little lesson there from his students, I should say. So that was awesome. And I mean, it doesn't stop there. Here he gets a massive amount of cred, which we will get into in a second here. But he ends up, even though he is weaker than Casserole, he ends up eliminating Casserole, which is very interesting. But the point is that he's getting some good amount of cred in both the anime and the manga, and actually ends up going up against Jiren while teaching Goku another lesson. So yeah, this is definitely completely different from the anime. Roshi didn't even go close to Jiren, but here he's like dodging him, and he's actually having like a small amount of Ultra Instinct, I guess you could say. So that was not even close to what the anime did. But he's teaching Goku a lesson and then gets eliminated by Jiren. Whereas in the anime, he actually eliminated himself because he basically had sapped all of his strength. And Vegeta's like, just, eliminate yourself. You did a good job. And Roshi's like, yeah, you're probably right. And then he eliminates himself. And digging deep even more, Goku triggers Ultra Instinct Omen while fighting Jiren, whereas it happens completely different from how the anime did it. Like the anime, he fell into the spirit bomb and like some weird stuff happened and he like cracked the shell of his, hidden potential or whatever you want to call it. But either way, he triggers Ultra Instincts. Here, however, he only does it for a second and then is knocked down by Jiren. Whereas in the anime, it was the episode 109, 110 special of Dragon Ball Super. Whereas this one is just like a small little snippet where he just triggers it and then that's it. So I guess that's all the similarities. Everything else is pretty much different. We have the concept of Ultra Instinct mentioned in here. And so it's kind of foreshadowing what's going to happen later, which is probably Goku going into Ultra Instinct further or maybe even mastering it. We will have to see about that. But if I missed any similarities, let me know. Just put them down in the comments. And now for the review portion. All right, so how was this chapter of the manga? It was, I thought it was pretty crummy, to be honest. The last one left on such an awesome and great, huge cliffhanger with Kefla versus Gohan, and everybody's, including me, are like, oh man, this is going to be such an epic fight. I can't wait to see it. And then we get 2 pages, and then it cuts out the entire middle portion of the fight, skipping all the way to the end, opting instead to focus on like Goku and Vegeta and Toppo and Jiren a little bit. However, I do love this page of Goku and Jiren facing off against each other and Vegeta and Toppo in the background. That's an awesome transition. I love the paneling there. But we focus quite a bit on them, whereas like it would have been such an awesome thing to actually see the Gohan and Kefla fight. So I moving on, I thought it was interesting how they actually like explained Frieza's quote unquote strategy of him just wandering around the stage. In the anime, he kind of just wandered the stage and did like random things, tortured some random dudes and all that. But I thought it was interesting how they actually explained his strategy here, and they went into a little discussion. I don't think it was entirely necessary to go into an explanation about it, but I thought it was interesting to actually show where Frieza was during this whole thing and why he wasn't participating in the fight. I mean, I feel like he should have probably jumped in to help Goku fight Jiren or Vegeta fight Toppo. I mean, he is a part of Universe 7's team, so he is a jerk for just standing around doing nothing. So like I said, that was the whole middle portion of the Gohan and Kefla fight. So that kind of sucks. We missed probably the most interesting parts of the fight. So now we have Kefla and Gohan all beat up, and then they double eliminate each other, which I do really like the paneling on the page here where they hit each other. That's really cool looking. It's awesome. So in terms of, and then they eliminate each other. So in terms of, Gohan and Kefla's like power, like the power for each of these, I feel might be a little bit different because we haven't really had as much of a scale for Kefla here, whereas we did in the anime version. Because she like knocked out Aniraza and some other dudes, a bunch of other dudes. That was Kale, not Kefla. So I gotta wonder, like, if she can just do that to those guys, you gotta wonder if she's tapping into that power as Kefla as well. It kind of seems like maybe she's not, but it's hard to say. But at the same time, we don't know how strong Aniraza is in the manga version because he was in like a half a second of the manga, and then boom, Kale just kicks him out. So. But in terms of Gohan and his training, very interesting stuff here. he's like, I'm gonna, start training the human side of my power instead of the Saiyan stuff. And so I thought that was kind of an interesting concept, and Gohan's definitely badass in this, but it's kind of like, how does that work? Like, how do you channel only part of I mean, how do you separate the human power from the Saiyan power? And also, can he stack Super Saiyan on top of his like human power? Because he says he's evolving as a human, not a Saiyan. So does that mean he can't go Super Saiyan? Is the evolving as a human tie into like his ultimate form? Like, is this his ultimate form? And that's what he's saying. Like, my ultimate power is the human power and the human potential in me, not the Saiyan potential, because I don't want to try to, get more grades of Super Saiyan, 3, and then Super Saiyan Blue and God and all that. I'm gonna just keep doing this power. So I guess that's a similarity between the anime and the manga, is that in the anime he's like, I'm gonna start, evolving in my own way. So I guess that's probably what he's getting at. He's gonna just keep tapping into his own like ultimate power, I guess you could say. But if anybody has a better explanation, just let me know down in the comments. I'm interested about this, and see what y'all have to say. Double eliminate each other, and when Champa gets erased, he's like, this doesn't mean I've lost you, Beerus. Don't get the wrong idea. You're a failure of a brother. And that's pretty typical of their relationship. But honestly, I kind of liked the anime version where he didn't say anything. And he just did the eye sticking his tongue out thing to Beerus. And then Beerus is like, say something. And I thought that was like a lot more emotional, like under the subtext of all that. Whereas here, he's kind of just like shouting at him. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you like this version better or the anime? So Universe 6 is out, leaving Universe 11 and Universe 7, basically. So basically, Toppo, Jiren, Dispo, and Casserole at this point left in. And now, the epic fight that we were going to get, or that we thought we were going to get with Gohan and Kefla, is just no more. It's just gone. So that was disappointing. And honestly, this is kind of just lackluster so far. So now I guess everything that's been rushed up until this point, we get onto the main event with Goku versus Jiren. And I feel like we almost focus more on this than the actual Gohan Kefla stuff, which I think we do. There's more pages of that. And then we get on to Goku doing the Kaioken, I guess. I mean, because he says, I need more strength and more power because I'm not strong enough for Jiren. And so he's just like, it's weird how they word it. It's either how they word it or how they explain it. Because Whis is saying that he's drawing power from deep in his reserves, and then Tien's like, is it the same principle as Kaioken? It's like, why are you asking if it's the same principle? Why don't you just say, oh, he's doing Kaioken? So is this like a new technique, or what the heck is going on? So for now I'm just gonna say that it's Kaioken, but I mean, again, what are you guys' theories? What do you guys think? Do you think it's actual Kaioken, or do you think it's something different but similar? So, okay, so now we're getting into the kind of elephant in the room, I suppose you could say. And that is Master Roshi. Master Roshi is fighting Casserole, and Casserole says how weak he is. But no, he can't hit him, which I guess kind of makes sense. So, okay, let's take this manga as its own thing. This manga is separated from any of the Dragon Ball series or Dragon Ball Z. Obviously, of Dragon Ball Super, it's different from Dragon Ball Super anime. But so taking all that into account, this is pretty cool because we don't have any as much concept or context for Roshi and his power and how skilled he is and what he's been up to the last few years. So Casserole's frustrated. He's like, you have a low power level. What's going on? Why are you dodging everything that I'm throwing at you? And Roshi's like, you're not seeing what lies underneath. Hint, hint. He's watching his foot movements to track, or predict what he's going to do. Maybe it's a prediction thing, but Roshi gets the better of Casserole and eliminates him after catching an attack from Casserole. So you got to wonder, if Roshi's so weak, you can make sense of the dodging stuff because he's watching his movements and maybe predicting what he's going to do next and tripping him. But catching an attack, if he's a lot weaker than this guy, how is he catching his attack? I mean, it's fine if he's dodging and whatever, but so that ties into what we have been previously established to from the Dragon Ball series and the Dragon Ball Z series. Like, how long has Roshi been practicing watching the movements and stuff? Because if you've seen Dragon Ball, then you've seen the tournaments and you've seen how, even in the first tournament against Goku, he was having a hard time against him and then gave up against Tien in the 22nd Tenkaichi Budokai. So why wasn't he watching Tien's movements then? Or has he developed this skill in the, 20 or so years since then? If so, where was he during Dragon Ball Z when they probably could have used his help against the Saiyans with this skill? Maybe against Cell, he could have taught this lesson to them earlier, but he was just kind of sitting around basically saying that he can't do anything against anyone. But nonetheless, I guess the lesson here to Goku is interesting, how he's wasting movement and taking stuff back from Dragon Ball. So they are tying it back to Dragon Ball stuff. And so I do like that lesson that he's teaching. However, I don't like his line where Goku's trying to just get stronger to fight Jiren, and Roshi's like, power? Just fighting strength? Who the heck taught you that? Vegeta or Frieza? And I'm like, no, you actually taught him that. Do you remember your training? Having these kids lug around turtle shells for however long and carrying milk up mountains, that's not training your speed or reaction abilities. That's training your strength, dude. So you taught Goku that. So I didn't like that line. I thought it was kind of dumb. And most of this Roshi, there's a lot of dumbness about it, I guess you could say, and it doesn't add up to me. It doesn't connect with me at all. And even worse, he goes up and starts going toe to toe with Jiren, which you can explain away with the prediction stuff. You can say that he's predicting Jiren's move, but that's not how they explain it. They explain it he's dodging Jiren's attacks left and right, and Jiren is surprised. Jiren goes to block an attack, which we've established how weak Roshi is and how strong Jiren is right now. I feel like Jiren did not have to block an attack. That just bugs me for some reason. What do you guys think about Roshi's dodging stuff here? But everybody's obviously surprised about him dodging stuff, and Reese is like, oh, that's a resemblance to Ultra Instinct. And I'm like, how and when did Jiren develop, or not Jiren, but Roshi, how and when did he develop this Ultra Instinct resemblance? What the heck is going on here? Man, it goes back to what we've previously established. We've previously established Roshi not being able to do anything against anyone, and now suddenly, because Resurrection F didn't happen in the manga. So, as we all know, he didn't do anything during Dragon Ball Z. So, however much we know about the manga, Roshi didn't do much during Resurrection F. If I'm mistaken about that, just remind me, because I might be forgetting something about the Resurrection F happening in the manga. But as far as I know, it was only a couple of panels of explanation of Frieza coming back. So, of course, as we all know, in the anime, Roshi did participate in beating up a bunch of Frieza soldiers and then getting tired out fighting them. So if he has a resemblance of Ultra Instinct, why is he getting tired out fighting second-class Frieza soldiers? You know what I'm saying? But he gets eliminated way too late by Jiren. And this just makes Jiren look like an idiot too. He's just like the anime. He's just like lollygagging around when he could just be eliminating these guys and Universe 11 would be the winner. Like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. It's really contrived. And obviously you wouldn't have a story if Jiren did that. I think they just made Jiren way too strong. Like, why can't he be like on par with a Goku, like a Toppo Vegeta kind of thing? They seem to be almost on par with each other. So, after watching Roshi do that thing, Goku just suddenly goes into Ultra Instinct Oma, and he's like, "I am the student of the Turtle School, yeah." Wow, that was a brief ass pull there. So. I did definitely like how they did it in the anime a lot better, because there was an actual like big trigger that triggered him to do that. Whereas now he's just sitting there about to get hit by Jiren, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna do Ultra Instinct Oma now," and dodge an attack, and it looks like Super Saiyan. Like his body looks like Super Saiyan God, like he's all skinny and all that. So interesting, but kind of dumb. So of course it doesn't lead to anything. Jiren just knocks him on his butt again, which obviously is just meant to be foreshadowing for later when he actually goes into the full Ultra Instinct to fight Jiren. So I guess looking forward to that. I don't know. I'm not really looking forward to the next chapter, because I feel like all the interesting stuff was rushed over, glossed over, and now we're just at Jiren versus Goku, which isn't nearly as interesting to me. So what do you guys think? I thought it was massively disappointing. Probably the worst chapter in a while. A lot of stuff was rushed. The pacing was all over the place. And a lot of stuff was just really dumb about it. So obviously, let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and take it easy.